Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's meeting of the Glenorchy City Council, today being Monday the 27th of April 2026. My name is Sue Hickey. I'm the Mayor of Glenorchy and the Chairperson for this afternoon's meeting. Glenorchy City Council acknowledges the Murumbina people as the traditional owners of this land. We recognise the Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the original owners and continuing custodians of the land, sky and country and waters of this island literature. We pay our respect to our Aboriginal elders past and present, and we commit to working in a way that welcomes and respects all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Joining me here in Council Chambers today is Alderman Peter Riddler, Alderman Justin Stringer, Alderman Tim Marks, our Deputy Mayor Alderman Russell Yaxley, our CEO Emilio Reali, Alderman Stephen King, Alderman Stuart Slade and Alderman Josh Cockshut. Before we open our agenda, I take this opportunity to make a statement about the workplace health and safety. Glenorchy City Council takes workplace health and safety seriously, and this includes physical and psychological safety. We have a duty to ensure that a safe workplace is provided for our employees, elected members, contractors, volunteers and members of the public who may be present at Council's workplaces. Council meetings form part of the Council's workplace, and it is expected that everyone who attends Council meetings will behave in a polite and respectful manner. Council has endorsed a statement of intent setting out how we as elected members have agreed to conduct ourselves in representing the people of Glenorchy. In accordance with this, any disagreement should be expressed respectfully, remembering both during debate and in decision making that we as elected people are represented, that we are elected to represent and serve the people of Glenorchy and to make our city the very best it can be. Finally, I note that the open section of this meeting is being live streamed and an audio-visual recording of the meeting will occur in accordance with Council's recording of Council meetings policy. Members of the public are not permitted to make audio-visual recordings of Council meetings. We have 12 items on our agenda today, and Agenda 1 is apologies. We have received an apology from Councillor Molly Kendall and Alderman Shane Alderton this afternoon. The second item is confirmation of the minutes of the open meeting of March 30th.
So moved.
Thank you. So we have Alderman Slade, seconded by Alderman Marks. Do you have anything to add to debate?
No, I haven't. Yeah, they are a true and accurate record to me.
Okay, any discussion from anyone? No, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. And now, you have to bear with me, I have some really good news, but it's announcements by the Chair. So the Glenorchy pool. Renovation works at the pool are now over 70% complete and remain on time and within budget. Construction is substantially complete on the change rooms and the certificate of occupancy inspection is underway. Accessible ramp works are progressing and the structural pours have been completed. Pool preparation works, bonding and expansion joint repairs are nearing completion and testing and final finishes are underway. Core works on the plant room are complete, including flooring, service connections, switchboard, ventilation and lighting. The grandstand stairs have been completed, pool heating installation is progressing and the service tunnel maintenance is ongoing. The toddlers pool water supply has been upgraded. The change in place pod has been delivered and is being installed. And as mentioned previously, the water slide has been removed due to significant safety and cost issues. As an ageing piece of infrastructure, the slide was deemed unsafe and had to be removed. The cost to replace the slide was over $1 million, which we simply did not have. And it wasn't feasible for this project, which is already at $6.5 million. The space where the slide was being transformed has been turned into a family-friendly space with a barbecue shelter and grass picnic area. Now, the next bit of good news is our youth hub. So during Youth Week celebrations on Friday the 17th of April, we had the soft launch of the much-awaited youth hub along with an event on the council lawns for Youth Week. I think everyone who attended this wonderful event will agree how successful it was. The Youth Hub has now begun a staged opening with the official opening scheduled for the 1st of July 2026. The Hub will continue to grow and evolve as programs and partnerships are rolled out. One of our first initiatives is the installation of a permanent multi-use activity area for basketball and other activities just outside the Hub on the council lawns, which you can see has been poured. I think this takes a few weeks to set and then it will be painted. CCT camera link to Tasmania Police. Last week, the CEO and I visited Glenorchy Police Station to see our 58 CCT cameras linked to their operations centre in action. We have an excellent working relationship with Tas Police in ensuring that the public safety is being prioritised, and this direct link to our camera network is playing an important role in deterring antisocial and criminal behaviour. Inspector Klug said that the camera link is an important preventative and investigative tool, giving the police the ability to see in real time what is happening across Glenorchy and to review stored data from the cameras. Murals. Everyone loves a good mural. The wonderful new council-funded mural by Joel Gadger at the Tasmanian Transport Museum is now complete, and I think you'll agree that that's a very colourful and wonderful mural, much better than the horrible tagging and graffiti that was there for years. We have recently engaged renowned local artist Jarman to create a public mural on the Glenorchy Central Wall in Cooper Street opposite Big W. The site is currently being prepared for Jarman, who will start work next Monday, the 4th of May. The mural will be a nature-based theme designed to create a depth of fields as you look at the mural and up the mountain into the background. We have negotiated with Tas Networks to tidy up their infrastructure with artwork. The first site is the doors and the vents at Cooper Street mural location, which will be included in Jarman's design. The second location is the ground-mounted substation at 51 Tolosa Street. We are talking to local street artists about creating a public mural on Anfield Street wall of the pool building. The kiosk on the front lawns of council is set for a makeover with a frame being installed to show artwork. We are working with a local artist who is creating 3 pieces that members of the public can interact with and tell a story. Finally, the bus mall will get a revamp that includes replacing damaged or broken perspex panels, replacing the rubbish bins, installing new plant beds, painting existing infrastructure and installing artwork on the bus shelters and vinyl wraps. And must never be considered that these murals are just frivolous pieces of art. They are known to be, once you have a good mural, to be deterrents to graffiti, and that taggers, etc., tend not to touch something that's been done by a professional artist. Another good news story, the Newtown rivulet goshawks. As part of the transformation of the Newtown rivulet, Council commissioned Folco Cooper to create sculptures of 2 grey goshawks, which were installed last week just beyond the car park on Risdon Road. This site lies within the goshawk's natural area. The grey goshawk is one of Tasmania's threatened species. It is entirely white and grows up to 55 centimetres long with a wingspan reaching 110 centimetres. The plantings and habitat design in this area have been done to help create more opportunities for species like the grey goshawk to return to the rivulet. A seat has been installed nearby, taking in the water views in front of the grassed area. An information sign will also be installed in the coming weeks.
We should have a competition for school kids to name those 2 birds.
Yes, they look rather spectacular, don't they? And a lovely gift to the city.
Well,
thank you. Well, we can take that up.
Why not?
Goshawk 1 and Goshawk 2.
Yeah, G1 and G2.
On to Tolosa Park, the boardwalk. Work has almost finished on the boardwalk over the wetlands at Tolosa Park with just the balustrading to go. It will be open to the public in May, and I think you agree that's a fantastic outcome for that wonderful park. The playground survey. A reminder to have your say on the new playground to be installed at Tolosa Park. The survey is on Let's Talk Glenorchy and is open until Thursday this week. And it's a choice between a nature-based playground and one of the more traditional plasticky, vibrant coloured ones. Apex Park. Now, works on the upgraded Apex Park at Lutana are now complete. Situated directly opposite the upgraded Newtown Rivulet track, I'm sure the park will be very popular. And this is part of our project to upgrade all of our parks. Moona Main Road Amenity Project. The plan for the installation of parklets on Main Road Moona have been received and now are being tested with local businesses to see what they like and what their input is. The plan is to install the parklets on both sides of Main Road in the Moona shopping section and reposition the bus stops in that area, which I think you'll agree will make a big difference.
Well, on that there, it's just unbelievable over 40 years that the bus stop was either moved one side of Hopkins Street or one side of Albert Road and vice versa. We just can't get it right.
Hopefully we do this time because
we just can't please it. But it does take up a lot of space, plus the loading zones too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 4 is pecuniary interest notification. Is there anyone with an item in tonight's agenda that they have a pecuniary interest? No? Okay. Response to previous public questions taken on notice. And now we're heading for public questions. So we didn't have any last time. No, there were none. Public question time. The council meeting is a formal meeting of the elected members elected by the Glenorchy community. It's chaired by the Mayor. Public question time is an opportunity for a formal meeting for the public to ask questions of their elected council representatives about the matters that affect ratepayers and citizens. In accordance with the regulations 31(2) and 3, public question time, Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations 2025, Council will allocate 15 minutes during each council meeting and invite members of the public to ask questions relating to the activities of council. There are a few rules around this. The questions must relate to the activities of council. Members of the public are to announce their name and residential address before asking a question, which will be recorded in the minutes. Questions are to be put succinctly and in the form of a question, not a comment. Questions must not be inflammatory, abusive, defamatory, contain a personal attack, or otherwise breach any of the rules of the meeting that's been explained by the chairperson. And it's up to the chairperson to limit questions with their discretion or take questions on notice to give answers at a later date. So do we have any questions? Thank you. Marla Crew, would you like to come to the table?
Congratulations on the events, but the service on Saturday.
Oh, sorry, just name and address for the cameras.
Sorry, Marla Crew, Naval Place.
Thank you.
Glenorchy. And it's quite opportune that you mentioned the cameras, because after the service, I went to my usual place, the pub, to have a drink, and somebody came over and said, there are people just posing with the reeds out there. So do you have cameras over that? I actually saw a few on Facebook as well.
I don't know.
Our camera network does cover the
Memorial.
Cenotaph or Memorial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I petitioned Parliament just under 2 years ago for those cameras in Glenorchy between Moona and Claremont to be linked with the police in real time. Because when I approached council said to me that it's quite a costly exercise for council to actually have those cameras. So is government paying for them, or is council paying for that?
Mayor, it's council covers it under our the links that we have in place. A few years ago, the old camera network, it would have been quite expensive to connect up because a lot of it would have been hardwired. Now we have pretty good links. I think they're microwave links that we can actually connect in automatically now. So yeah, that's been done for. I think the link has been there for quite a few months, but it was actually getting each end sorted out so that they could communicate together is what's been done recently. So.
Right, so council's actually, it's coming out of your budget.
Yeah, I just clarify. So council already has a CCTV network.
Yes.
All we've really done now is It's more to do with the software upgrades that the police have. They can now access our camera network.
I
So
see.
it's not costing us anymore, but it's also not costing them anymore. It's a network that we already had in CCTV
Right.
that the police now have direct access to.
Yeah.
They used to have to come and request it for us, and we download it and
Right.
whereas now they can actually just access it.
I thought it would have been quite cheeky of state government to
No, this is not cost shifting.
pass
in
on
this
that,
case.
that cost. It comes back to another question that I asked at the last meeting, and I've had a long letter email from Mr. George Burrows because he came in and he tested the headphones and they don't actually work for him. So perhaps if someone can reach out to him directly and sort that out, and it won't take up public question time.
Okay, see what we can do.
Mayor, if Mr. Burrows would like to come in, we can actually test it with him in real time so that we can make sure they work.
Sorry.
Just to add to that, I've
Yeah.
looked into that further. We've organised another review of the space and someone else to look at the link here in the Auracast to work specifically with the different types of hearing aids. So we will reach back out to George once we've figured out exactly what the most up-to-date standard is
Right.
and check that that's how we've got it.
Thanks, because he did come in last meeting and test them. And my last comment is with regard to an RSL. Could you scout, would it be possible for council to scout for a property, perhaps that church that is now being used as a job hub or something, would be ideal for an RSL club? Is that something that council would look at?
Well, we do have one at Claremont, a very large and active one. The Glenorchy one fell over for quite a few reasons, but we don't run or manage, and we haven't had any approach, to my knowledge, CEO? No, directly from an RSL. I mean, they have to staff them and do all the checks, etc. So it's quite a big operation for them to reinvigorate another RSL. But if they were to make an approach, we'd certainly be happy to talk to them.
Right, because my last meeting with them was with regard to the pool, and the chair from there, he's from the north of England, he was really intent on reviving a Glenorchy one. So
Well, if he would like to do all the background work and then he'd like to pop in.
absolutely.
Okay.
And today is the South African Freedom Day. It's our national holiday, and it was the first day that Black people got a vote in the country of their birth.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks.
Eddie, Steve.
My name's Eddie Steenbergen and I live in Rosetta. I'd just like to start briefly mention something I regard as good news, which is the completion of roadworks at the entrance to the Montrose Bay Community Park with its functioning traffic lights. I consider that a great advance in terms of road safety. Many others will find it irritating. I think safety comes first. Right, question number one is, can I have a quick update on the Hudson project?
Okay. CEO, would you like to handle this?
Mayor, I'd ask our director.
We are still awaiting the legal advice. We have further information that was requested by the barrister and the legal team, and we're waiting their response.
Okay. Right, on in tonight's closed agenda, there's an item about Microsoft 365 software. I'm curious to know what it's about, what decisions are being made, and why it's in closed session.
Okay, Tracy, would you like to answer that one?
Thank you. So council obviously uses a Microsoft platform for its IT, and we need licensing to do so. The current licensing that we have is now expiring under the contract, and we use the Local Government Association of Tasmania. They have a panel, so they went out to public tender and created a panel of providers, and we used that panel and invited them to quote for our licensing and the reporters regarding the proposed licensing there. It's in private because it's commercially in confidence with the costs for the licensing
So the summary is to decide on the proposed, in essence, the item is to decide whether to accept that proposal.
Correct. Yes, and it's just above delegations, given the amount over, I think it's a 3 or 4 year term.
Okay, thank you. Right. Sorry about this. In the capital works status report, which I commend to all residents whenever I see them, it mentions some work to be done on the Chigwell barn, some conservation and remedial works. It doesn't seem to be a project, it just seems to be an activity as a budget, and I'm wondering why it's treated differently to normal repair works and upgrades.
Who would like to answer this one?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure that it's treated differently, but it's not major works. There's some cracking in the brickwork which is being repointed because it's a heritage listed building. We've got to use a specialist heritage builders and have them approved. But it's not major works, but yeah, it's just keeping it in good condition so it doesn't degrade.
Okay. I'm curious about the Mooner Arts Centre. It's an interesting beast, politely. And I noticed in the quarterly financial report that an audit was done of its business plan that talks about recommendations from that report. I'm curious to know what type of recommendations might have arisen from that audit. And yes, I'm interested.
Okay, CEO, would you like to refer that?
I might ask the director to.
Oh, sorry.
So the audit was looking at really the governance structures behind the Lunar Arts Centre, so how we're organising and the type of work we're carrying out. The audit itself overall found it was functioning well as an art gallery. There are improvements we can make in terms of inventory management. There needs to be decisions made under the current business plan. There were some proposals made. I can't say it was a clear mandate that we should look at additional revenue raising for the Lunar Arts Centre. Some of those would be potentially commercial in nature, where we might be competing with private enterprise. We're leery to do that. It's not a space if there's private companies offering that service. We're loath to step into that space. So it was highlighting those areas and bringing it back as something we need to look at in the business plan moving forward, because it's due for review.
I ask a quick follow-up question. Why are you loath to compete if there really is nothing to compete with?
Well, we actually have to comply with the competitive neutrality rules. So it's actually a whole set of costing and accounting. So we immediately incur costs in that space that then make it very hard for us to compete for a start, because we have to do this competitive neutrality accounting and business accounting. And equally, if there's others providing it, I'm not sure that our role is to act as a private enterprise. We're a council, so that's all stuff that we need to look at, bring back to council, discuss with council, and discuss when we're working up the business plan about where we want to sit in. I mean, there's some things that we can do, but we just need to discuss it with council and council to guide us in that decision making.
So finally, has council actually identified any commercial opportunities which are not breaching any competitive rules that the Lunar Arts Centre can use to generate income?
Well, that will be coming back to council for discussion when we bring the business case back. Yes.
Okay.
And the Lunar Arts Centre was initially set up to encourage new and emerging artists in the community and things like that. So we don't really want it to be competing with professional galleries. But but we're very mindful that we present as good work as we can.
I'm interested in it because it's a very large expense for council.
It is, but so are sports grounds, and we subsidise those, and we believe that creative arts are just as important to building good community as sport. So we try to make sure that peppercorn leases and affordable rents and leases are available where we can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to come up and ask a question?
Hello, I'm Sally Atkinson and I'm from Austonsbury. I was at another community event Saturday, and someone who works at Anglicare had actually said that there was a swastika painted on the bus stop outside of Anglicare, and it was over the timetable. They managed to remove it. However, they weren't aware that there was that they could approach council to remove these things, and they weren't aware of the free graffiti kit that we offer. So I was just wondering, is it worth making that making it a concerted push to make sure that businesses know about that? And maybe some community outreach about symbols and things that we could have. I was wondering if it was in the council purview to approach the schools or whatever and just mention to them that this has been going on in their area and could they please reach out to their students or that sort of thing.
Well, we're very much against anything like that, and we are very proactive with our graffiti teams and cleaning teams. But if it happened on a weekend or something like that, we do respond to the Snap and Solve app. Not that everyone's got that. We probably could advertise that a bit more too. Do you have any other commentary?
Mayor, with anything that's derogatory or offensive, if we're contacted, we will respond to that very quickly. So we prioritise that. If it's on private infrastructure, a bus stop is actually a metro asset, but if it was offensive and causing distress, we would still deal with that within, if we're contacted. If it's on private property, we probably notify the property owners, and if they're not able to deal with it, we would assist to try and get rid of it as quick as possible. Our free graffiti kits are available for anyone in the community or businesses who would like it. We did do some media articles on it and we did push it out via social media. We're happy to do another round of that just to build that awareness to make people aware that they are available. They try and deal with the graffiti themselves. Otherwise, we're happy to assist.
Sure, I did give them the link to the site, but they didn't know off the top of their heads.
Reaching out into schools is probably a good idea, but it's a bit resource intensive as well to get to all the schools. But we can certainly mention to our community teams who do have contact with schools to try and leave some information with them.
Wonderful, thank you.
Sally, just before you go, I remember having a conversation with you about crossing at Roseneath Park.
Yes.
I think, Patrick, you sent me the response to that. Yes.
I have sent you a response, yes, I'm not sure if it's been passed
So
on.
I'm wondering if you'd like to catch up a bit later. And I couldn't pass it on because I didn't have Sally's email address.
Yeah, sure.
But it's just, so that'd be very good. Thank you.
I've got to do it after this.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just for
Sally,
for your
Sorry.
information, I chair the Safer Cities Committee. Just for your own information, that's really going well in the city at the present moment, and we have representation from all quarters, and we're having from education, metro, whatever. So just so there's a chance, and I have a meeting next week, so that's a good chance again for me to bring home the issues you just raised. But there is representation on there from the private sector in Northgate. So it's really good the fact that the community's working for one goal, and that is for a safer city and also to address things like the graffiti. The graffiti thing is going really, really well actually. For some private houses, I just want to have some more information. And I'm pleased you raised it again because it's always good to have a refresher and whatever. But I just want to tell you that we do have those groups like schools and whatever involved at that level. So I didn't want you to leave anything that was just sitting around the table, 3 or 4 police officers and some aldermen and we're doing nothing. That's all.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, are there any other questions from any members of the gallery? There being none, thank you. Okay, and now item 8.1 is activities of the mayor, and hasn't she been busy? Who would like to move this one? Thank you. Sorry? I missed one. Oh, do we have any petitions? No.
No.
Right. Okay, so, yes, so it's moved by Alderman Slade. Do I have a second? Thank you. I might go with Peter Riddler.
Just on petitions, so I did ask the CEO about the one that's circulating about the youth hub. Is there any update on that?
Okay, we'll just have a little break and go backwards.
Yeah, well, so I thought the best way is done a petition, so Amelia might be able to tell us.
Yeah, yeah, it's not in order. I've already moved this one. So can you just wait a bit?
Okay.
Yep, thank you. In that case, I'll go back to Alderman Marks as the seconder. Alderman Slade.
Yeah, it was a busy month, Mayor. I think a few aldermen were pretty busy as well. And again, I think what it's just showing is just that the community in Glenorchy, I just, really want their representation shown sometimes, and for our representatives, in particular the mayor and the deputy mayor, to go to these places. That just sort of didn't happen probably 10 years ago. I think something that we should say, well, this is really great. And as I said, the more you get just shows what we're doing and able to relay that to our community, like a good lady here tonight. I think it's all very, very positive. It's all very tiring at times, but it's all part and parcel of our job. And I've always said that when I came on as elected member, it wasn't just come to these meetings here, but it was the phone calls, the knocks on the doors and going to those events. Sometimes you may find that they perhaps a little bit more, but that's all part of the role. And I think most people accept that. And you see, have had a
motion 3, could we just change it to request council, that council continue engagement with the department, delete request of CEO?
It says the chief executive to continue engagement.
Yeah, well, I just think just change it to request, without moving an amendment, I don't know what the CEO thinks, but it's just council continue engagement.
If I may. The reason it's to request to continue, myself and the Hobart CEO are members of the steering committee that are working through this. So
Leave it as a Soviet step.
So it's to continue that engagement.
Yeah, no problems.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, I just, a lot of reading, Mayor, I have to get the tick there. And I suppose hearing for the first time last week, I wasn't conversant with what level the government was at regarding this, and that the fact that it's now going, not a handball, but being passed on to another area which can, that's basically what the Deputy Mayor is saying, put some flesh around it now in relation to where it should go. But I think it's very important just to remember that we didn't ask, this report's not from us, this report's from the state government. So it's receiving and noting the report from them. So this is not a report from the Glenorchy City Council, development section or from CEO. It's put to us from the government in Tasmania, and for us to review it and to hear the presentation. And then there's a series underneath that of things to follow. And I'll be certainly following that with great interest, like anybody else is. I'm pretty naive on a lot of this stuff until I read it, and I wouldn't want our community to, in particular, Mayor, to be fully aware of all of this without having some sort of background and assistance to what that means. So I'm happy to how it reads. I'm happy that it's not from us, it's from the state government, and it's got all the notes there and the passages there, but the CEO is still the link there. And finally, we were looking forward to receiving the final document. That's it.
Thank you, Mayor, through you. Yeah, it's certainly, much of this report is certainly detail heavy, as we've outlined a lot, but it is probably a little bit light on new information. A lot of it was already known and understood. It's effectively another volume in the collection of reports that have been dusted off. So it's adding to that pile. So, the rapid bus network does make sense, and while the northern suburbs does have an opportunity for rail, there's an opportunity there. It doesn't really connect then to everything else around. So it does make sense that a rapid bus solution would be the way to go. So while the plan is great, the reality is that council and state government have limited ownership of land in that area. So we're going to be working with hundreds and hundreds of different landowners, a variety of range of land uses and planning coordination. So plus the price tag. So this is not happening tomorrow. We're going to have to wait many, many years. And while I feel like I'm very pessimistic in this, and I'm usually quite an optimist, I really do look forward to that detailed business case to get some really good understanding of the detail, and to see how we can now then move forward, speak to federal government, have a really good business case to be checking forward to. So yeah, good luck with the team working with State Growth.
I've been following the progress of this corridor now since about 2011, and I can't tell you how many reports that I've read or reread, and seeing this wonderful, great big production yet again, and as the Deputy says, a lot of it is repeating what we've already been told, but it's another step on the ladder, and hopefully this time it's a step in the right direction. The government has had, well over a decade to get something started, and this is the case. It's going to, at this stage, it's got a rough estimate with a 50% error. Oh, excuse me, $20 fine to some charity. I'll have to stop that. Yeah, I think I'll give $20 to Aurora Disabilities, just my poor behaviour.
Can you somebody, please?
Yeah, no, I'll do it, don't worry. Yeah, so as I was saying, nothing is more important than getting people onto fast, reliable, safe public transport, to get people out of cars, get them off the roads and get them to jobs, appointments, connect with friends, whatever the thing is they need to do, and we need to be able to do it affordably. So this is a project that's really important in city shaping. It's probably one of the more significant things any government could do to leave a legacy to Tasmania, and particularly southern Tasmania, because of the unique structure we've got of the roads and how they bottleneck in Hobart, where people come for jobs and appointments and specialists and things. But this project, as it is at 50% accuracy, is $890 million. And then we need another case, business case, before it can go up to Infrastructure Australia or wherever it goes to, and then goes into the sausage machine there for approval. To put that in context, and given the absolute significance of this, and we're told that the state government can't afford this alone, we look at the stadium that's at 1 billion plus, it's as competing priorities. And I'm not saying the stadium's a bad investment. What I'm saying is this is a critical investment, and it's taken over a decade to get here, and we can't afford it, apparently, in its current form, which is just paperwork. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go back to Alderman King.
Unless there's anyone else want to say anything.
Anyone else want to say anything? No? Alderman King.
Thank you. I'm grateful our CEO is on the steering committee for a start. That gives me confidence. They say if the middle of life, and I don't know if this will happen in my lifetime, and if the middle is partly difficult as well, but here we go. We do know that the potential housing opportunity in this corridor is enormous. We've already seen the Salvation Army build a 51-unit complex almost on that corridor, and how that's benefited so many people, and it brings business to Moona itself. If there's any way at all progressing this, in some way speeding this up, the transport's one part, but the actual potential housing, which we are crying out for, is, to me, the real hub and enormous part of this whole thing. So whatever influence you have with the current government, Mayor, as you were part of it, and good friends of yours, I'm sure, we could push this or talk to the Labor government or whatever about somehow pushing this forward. We've got to do something.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
So on that note, we've stopped short of endorsing the project because it is a state government project.
It's a state government
but we are ratifying that we're receiving and noting, etc.
Yep.
Okay, so all those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And moving on to item 11.1, policy update, information management. And who would like to cover this one?
About 10.
Sorry?
About 10.
About 10?
No, right, that's number 4.
No, 10's not there. Okay, so item 11.1, policy update, information management. Who would like to move this one for me, please? Thank you. Patrick, excuse me, just one sec. Patrick, did you and Sally manage to exchange? Oh, excellent, thank you. Great. And you're going to move it, Alderman Marks?
Sure.
Thank you. And a second, please. Thank you, Deputy. Alderman Marks, would you like to start debate?
Just the update that we need to keep certain information available to the public, and information that's unfortunately, as some public know, the confidential nature. We need to keep that to ourselves, but information that we can give out to the public should be updated so that they know what's going on.
Thank you. Anyone else like to contribute to the debate? No? Okay, in that case, I'm going to put it to the vote. All those in favour? It's carried unanimously. And what are we up to now? 12. So do we have any, I missed one there, Amelia? Yes. 11.2. Yes, sorry about that. So we've got the, I thought something was wrong. 11.2 is the quarterly report, quarter 3, period ending 31st of March 2026. Thank you, Josh. So Alderman Cockshut will be moving it.
Yep.
Who would like to second it? Thank you, Alderman King. Alderman Cockshut.
Thank you, Mayor. Really positive third quarter for the council. We have operating a favourable to budget of 542,000, which is a great result. Operating revenue was 76.8 million, slightly below budget, while expenditure was significantly below budget, 58.8 million. Capital grant income was also 6.45, mainly to do with the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool. As part of the capital works program, obviously the pool is 70% completion. Looking forward to seeing that completed in time for this summer and the back half of this year. Other things to note was obviously we mentioned the great work with the Glenorchy Youth Club, which is supported by the community grant, which is now up and running, which is great. And then briefly, just a small minor budget variation of 250,000 in regards to the Northern Suburbs Transport Corridor. But overall, in terms of finances and overall runnings of the council, a really strong quarter. Hopefully we can close out the financial year over the next couple of months.
Thank you. Very good summary. Anyone else like to contribute to the debate on this one? No? Okay, I'm going to put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously.
He's out the room.
Yeah. No. Peter.
Sorry?
Peter's not here.
I've got it.
Oh, well, we had to note Peter was missing.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get him back or is he abstaining?
Oh,
He's got a
taken
telephone.
a phone call.
He's got a telephone call.
As long as that's recorded in the records. Now is it 11.3?
Yeah.
Capital Works Status Report. Quarter 3. Who would like to take this one?
Such a good job the last one, Josh. You did this one too.
I'm happy to move it, that's fine.
Sorry?
I'm happy to move it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Second,
Alderman
Mayor.
Foxtrot. Thank you, Alderman King. Good news story.
It's a good news story.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've mentioned it before, but obviously there's lots happening in the Capital Works Department. The council is doing a really good job. Like I said, we've used about 52% of our annual revenue so far. I think it was 16.46 million in the quarter. I've mentioned the pool at 70% completion. There's other projects with Apex Park, Tolosa. We're about to start and we're getting the community consultation with Tolosa, which is super exciting. Keen to see the results on that. But overall, lots of work being done to better the city and the infrastructure.
Thank you, Deputy.
Mayor, just a question. Yeah, great. It's excellent report. We're getting a lot of activity happening and we're completing a lot of our capital works, which is great. I just want to ask a question to the CEO through you, Mayor, just regarding obviously the current international climate and situation that's and the conflicts that are going on. Are you able to outline? I've had some people asking in the community in terms of what we're doing within as a council to prepare, I guess, respond to those pressures that are happening and can happen or are happening for us in council. So it'd be great if you could outline that. That'd be great.
Mayor, so we've looked at recasting our budgets with a couple of different scenarios. If fuel prices increase dramatically, moderately, or a little bit. At this point in time, we're seeing fuel prices stabilise, although a little bit higher than what they would normally be. We've been checking with state government and there's a task force that's been stood up to monitor the situation. So we've been informed that our fuel supplies are actually better than what they've ever been on record in Tasmania because they've been bringing more fuel in, and normally the fuel or the outlets, petrol stations, only order enough for a just-in-time process. They don't like to pay for any additional stock if they don't need it. But so there's plenty of capacity in our storage tanks across the state. The state government has been assisting in making sure that they're topped up above their usual capacity. So we know supply is okay. It is the cost that is the risk factor. So we've checked with the main suppliers that use fuel as their major supply item. One is for bituminous products. We have already received some notifications that bitumen will go up. There is a rise and fall component to that contract, so bitumen products will go up by, I think it's something like 13% at this stage. And we also know that transport companies have just received a Fair Work Australia ruling that they're actually able to apply a rise and fall component because of the extra cost burden they've received. So where that will affect us is waste management, because of the trucks picking up our waste, and I think they've locked in a 3.5% increase at this stage. So we're watching our capital works program on those fronts to make sure that we're still going to be within budget. And what it may mean, though, is that we may have to defer a project if the costs escalate. At this stage, we're actually going okay, but we are having to keep a close eye on that rise and fall component. It's good. So we are prepared.
That's great. Great news.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No, I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Now, item 11.4 is notices of motion, questions on notice or without notice. Thank you, Deputy.
You have a question without notice. I've just been asked about the upcoming budgets, federal and state, in terms of what council has done in terms of security funding for our priority projects. We endorsed some projects in January 26, and obviously we've put those submissions through, and we've stated that we're going to be continuing to lobby for them. So it's coming up to that time. So I just wanted to find out, after we have submitted them, did they ask for any feedback back, or was there any more information sought?
Mayor, the council has submitted the priority projects that were agreed on. They have gone to all of our local members and federal members, and we haven't received any other questions or feedback. We did receive acknowledgement that they had received them, but we haven't received any other follow-up questions.
And just go from that then, has any advocacy taken place in terms of, sort of letters or face-to-face meetings to put those things forward to, sort of chasing up, being proactively, I guess?
At this stage, no, but it's probably about the season where that does start.
Yep. So, okay, great. And so I guess there's no real confidence in knowing where the projects are at, obviously, based on what you said. So that's just something we've got to wait and see. Yeah. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, right, Alderman Marks.
Yeah, just got a question for Emilio. I've been inquired about the Anzac Park, if we're going to bring any trees into there for shading.
Anzac Park?
Yes,
sorry.
Anzac. Anzac Park. One we just finished.
Anzac Park. So, sorry. We are working with a school group, Sacred Heart School. Yep. They are using that as a project to plant a little pocket forest, so some trees, native trees mostly. So, and I think that's occurring.
I don't remember the date yet, but I think they do have that actually. But yeah, we're just working with them on the right location and the right species and mulch and like, just to make sure its maintenance is looked after.
Yeah. So in short, yes, there will be, but they won't be big mature trees. They'll be probably small trees to start with.
Thank you.
That's a lovely project. I think Alderman Marks was asking about shade trees, though.
Yeah, that's what the quarry has been to me. Trees for shading it.
These will grow into shade trees.
Eventually, okay.
Keep wearing the hat too.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Riddler.
Yeah, to the CEO, Mayor, 101 Grove Road, that's still lying on the nature strip, and you said a month ago that in the process of being disposed of. Been sitting there for 30 years.
Mayor, I'll get our compliance team to follow that up. They were working with the owner of that residence because they've got some steel structural members sitting on the nature strip. So we'll chase that up.
Right, and police would raise Apex Park. I've raced through the caravan at the top of Culloden Place above an Apex. that's been there more than 2 months since I raised it initially with you. And also I've had a complaint, I think it's number 9 Kendall Street around the corner, caravans on the nature strip.
Mayor, one of the caravans that you've asked for us to check out is actually registered and I think legally parked there at this stage.
Illegally or legally?
Legally.
What, on the nature strip?
On the road, I think there was one.
No, they're not on the road.
They're on the nature strip.
They're on the nature strip, both of them.
They're on nature strip blocking footpath.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about blocking
They did,
This item down.
sorry for you, they did check that one. It is on the nature strip, but it's not blocking the footpath and it is registered. So it's not actually breaking the law, that particular one.
But they're not allowed to paint on the nature strip, are they?
If it's outside your own
The
property.
advice I had, outside your own property, but not blocking the footpath.
Well, I've had complaints from Legit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's legal.
All right.
There you have it, the officers.
All right, I'll leave it with you guys. The other thing,
Mayor, we can report back so that you're aware of it.
yeah, that's all right. And the other one was the crossovers from, on the Brooker Avenue instead of, east to west. You're going to investigate with transport and going the other way, because the bulk of the traffic is west to east, e.g. Risdon Road, Bowen Road, Dillon Park Road in particular. So is there any particular reason why they're coming from?
I'll get the Director of Infrastructure to provide an update.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, thank you. Yes, so we have spoken to the Department of State Growth about the timing of those lights. And that is basically the standard all the way along.
Yeah, they're all on one side.
Yep. So that's the standard they apply generally. They'll let that side go before. So they wouldn't switch one because then it's going to be out of order. With
No, well, can they switch all?
No, that's the standard they apply. So they all go that way.
What?
It doesn't mean you actually wait any longer. It's just the order that you go. So if you get let go first, you have to wait longer the next time, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't actually make any difference to the
I appreciate that, but one of the issues with Albert Road, if we could clear Risdon Road first, so to ease the pressure on the lower Albert Road is probably one issue.
Yeah, but then it backs up longer once it's gone because it's having to wait.
Not necessarily.
Well, it's a state government issue, so we might leave that one there then. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think, okay, I'll please you chase it up, but I want to talk to the Minister myself. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, and now, does anyone else have a question?
I've only just a quick question. I mean,
Yes.
I've been sitting around these tables over a number of years and whatever, and I'm sorry, but I feel that notice of motions, like the ones I've heard tonight and recently, should be done in a written format, and a lot of them could just come through as, through the normal system where our directors can look at it and whatever. I mean, we're not here to, this time of night, time of day, to look at allegedly complaints. That's not what we're doing.
Yes.
And if it's in writing and written somewhere and follow the snap, the process, we won't have to go through this. I've got about 125 of them, but I wouldn't dare bring them to here. I go for a process.
Okay, thank you.
Point of order, Mayor, there's nothing against in the standing orders to say it has to be written. It can be a verbal question.
It can be a verbal question, yes.
And they are all questions.
Okay, but I think Alderman Slade's point is they're usually of a higher standard of question just rather than complaints.
Yes.
Anyway, we can deal with that in-house.
I'll note it next time we ask a question verbally. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, so with that, it's time to
Move to close council.
close council. Yes, I'm asking someone to move that we close the open and open the
So
closed.
moved.
Thank you. Well, I did see Alderman King go first and then Alderman Slade, so just picked at the post, Alderman Riddler. Any questions or discussions? No? Then I'm going to put that to the vote. All those in favour say aye, yes, or wave your hand. It's carried unanimously. With that, we're drawing the open part of today's meeting to a close. We thank you for watching, and if you'd like to review it, you're welcome to have a look at YouTube or Facebook, and we hope to see you next month. Thank you.